This is a reading for sign of Aries for November 2022. It's been a long time, Aries, since I've done a reading for you. Hopefully I'll be doing regular readings from now on. Aries, I want to tell you that you're going through a hard time, a lot of hard struggles, a lot of emotional upsets and conflicts, inner conflicts. You know, Aries, the amount of suffering that you do in your mind, ultimately it's absurd. So understand, Aries, you're used to a life of suffering. You're used to pain, emotional pain and conflict, Aries. It's something that you can't escape, really, your whole life. You feel like damn, like I could never escape. I was always fighting in the battlefield and I could never get out of it. And ultimately, Aries, the future looks bright ahead for you. Understand that God will help you and guide you. I guarantee it. God will give you the information you need to know, Aries, so that you will not die out there alone. Aries, the first thing you want to know is that the most important aspect of everything you represent and who you are and what you're here for, your very purpose in life, Aries, is exact, precise, and you don't even know. So understand, Aries, as a collective, Aries is Aries. All Aries are Aries. It's the same spirit. So, Aries, you have a big, important purpose in this world, and you are an important sign and an important person. And understand that probably most of you, Aries, have been through nothing but hell. Aries, you know what it's like to suffer deeply in the emotion. And ultimately, Aries, all the things that you've had to go through your whole life have really been, well, truly unfair is the feeling you'll get. So let's try to find out, Aries, what exactly are the energies that are facing against you or putting up a stumbling block, or who are your enemies, Aries? Let's take a look. Okay, Aries, the first thing you need to know is you don't really have any enemies if you want to be safe and sound. So understand that you are your worst enemy, Aries. You are your worst enemy. Know thyself, know your enemy. And understand, Aries, when you realize you're the enemy, it is you who is the enemy of yourself. Well, then, what do you mean? Then who am I fighting? Well, truly, that's what the good news will be, Aries, when you become spiritually aware that you've just been fighting yourself your whole life in someone else, or someone else who refused to be you. And ultimately, it's been nothing but hell and pain and suffering. And by the time you figure out, Aries, what the hell, I'm just my own enemy anyways? Well, yeah, what are you doing? Like, you'll be like, suddenly the light bulb will go off in your head, Aries, and you'll be like, wow, I can't believe it. I don't even have any enemies. No, you don't really, Aries, unless, you're it. So ultimately, the devil's not your enemy, Aries. The devil has no problem, except that he wants to be respected. The ultimate evil forces of Satan, Aries, they're just, ultimately you've got to respect them enough. You don't certainly disrespect them. And they're not after you to hurt you. There's no enemy coming for you, Aries. There's no evil forces coming against you. Understand, if you've got any enemies, Aries, it's because you have caused it. And understand, if you have not caused it by doing something dumb, then you don't have enemies. So look, the potential for what we are dealing with here, Aries, is your enemy, and it's the divine feminine. But she's not your enemy, Aries. She's ultimately just a soul that is also in conflict in this world as a human being, struggling as you are, having emotional conflicts and pain as well. So understand, you got this first card situation, Aries. Aries, many of you might be dealing with health issues, health problems, or you're on the verge of health issues, like where you're barely holding on to your health. You're like, wow, I'm still healthy, but like barely, like I'm on the borderline. Aries, a lot of Aries right now are going through the hardest emotional, physical, and mental struggle, because this is a situation happening on a worldwide collective. And the Aries collective is a singularity in masculinity that is a collective, and it's all over the world. Truly, it's one entity. It suffers and fights together, and it runs together, it dispossesses itself together, and it's also apart. Meaning, Aries, you have an important purpose to belong to your collective, to belong, to be a part of something, not just detached and apart from it. And so this first card says that Aries, you're the type that says, I'm not even dealing with society. I can't be a part of the society. I'm not going to conform and corrupt my entire soul and nature. Aries, you're trying, because you're being treated so isolated and unfair and kicked out of society in many ways, you're becoming like this personification of what is more than a saint, maybe a dark saint, like something really special. Because Aries, if you're in conflict with a woman, against a woman, that's your problem right there. Aries, be yourself, jump into this mode. You're not her, unless you want to be, but you won't be you, because you can only do one thing at a time, Aries. You're like a light switch. You can be her, and then you're just her, Aries. You're just going to be your woman. Aries, you can do this or that. This is you, Aries. If you do this, it's you. So if I do this, it's me, not her. Okay, but I can't be me and her. Well, wait a minute. Can't Taurus do it? Yeah, all the signs could be me and her, or both of us. Because think about this, Aries. You're the first sign of the zodiac. You're the number one. You're the first half. She's the second half. Aries, you're not a two or a second half. You're a first half. You're a masculinity and a first half. Which means the only way that you can become a whole number is when you're married, incorporating a second half as a whole, which becomes one in a marriage. And Aries, many Aries won't be able to even do it. So understand, Aries, you're going to be in conflict with the divine feminine. She won't like you just because you're a first half that doesn't have her. Everybody has my half. Well, everybody but Aries, everybody but the one. See, she's a second half, Aries, and she says, well, I have two halves. I have his half and my half. How come he doesn't have my half? Well, because he's a first half. He's not a second half. You're a second half, girl. Oh, but I don't understand mathematics. Well, no wonder you're going to be all mad at him because you can't even understand simple math. She doesn't realize, she can't figure it out. Like, if I've got your half and I'm a two, so I've got the first and second half. She is a two. She's the second one. You're the first one. Aries, she can't figure it out. She doesn't know. Don't get mad at her for it. Certainly, what's it going to do? Except it's not going to help her to point out that she's utterly missing it. So you can't be mad at her, and she'll be mad at you for sure. It's all your fault, Aries. How dare you be a one in a first half only, Aries? Oh my God, look, here comes Aries down the street. How dare you even face us? Like, you think you're so great. You're not even our half. Sorry, that's a personification of my poor me attitude, and Aries is mad. But understand, Aries, she's not the enemy, and she's ultimately going through struggles like you. Aries, she's strong. She's crossing you. It could be in the form of a powerful divine feminine. Aries, how would you like Athena twisting your arm around the backside of your back? Well, if Athena beats you up, you can go call the devil and ask for help, or you can call Satan up and say, hey man, the goddesses are picking on me. I need some help. Man, no one else will help me. Who's going to help me? Who comes to rescue you, Aries, when you yell for help? When you're hanging over the side of a cliff, Aries, and you're saying, help, help, and you're falling, and you're about on the side of the cliff, and the branches come out of the ground, Aries, you're about to fall 1,000 feet down, Aries, and you're, God help me, God help me, you're like screaming out, Aries, help, 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 help. Whose hand do you see reach down, Aries? Whose hand? Whose hand is grabbing you, Aries? Whose hand says, take my hand? And, oh, who are you? Does it matter who I am? Do you want to die right now, or do you want to live? I want to live, but who are you? Do you want to ask who I am when I'm trying to rescue your ass? You want to ask who I am? You want my credentials? You want to see my license? Or you want to grab my hand and you won't die? Well, I should shut up and grab your hand. Well, yeah, you should. And don't ask me. It's like Aries says, you can't rescue me unless you're the right rescuer. And if you're the wrong rescuer, I won't take your rescue. I won't even rescue myself. And if I'm the wrong rescuer, I can't rescue me. So Aries, you're suicidal, and you're ultimately faced by a strong divine feminine that is ultimately powerful, Aries, and she's crossing you with the strength card. What's going to make you do, Aries, is realize there's nothing you can really do except accept her. Because she's going to not like you, Aries. She's going to look at you like, you disgusting first half, and I don't even know I'm a second half, but I got your first half, and I'm a two, and I got my second half, and I am the second half, and I don't even understand any of these. I can't even understand what I'm saying right now. See, she has no understanding, Aries. She doesn't realize she's mad at you because you're a first half that doesn't have her, because you're only one. You can't have two. You can't have you and her. You could take her only and get rid of yourself. Aries, why not? She'll say, yeah. Aries, I got you. Why don't you take me? Well, then I'll have to drop I can hold one, Aries. You can hold one. You tell her, you can hold two because you are two, darling. You're me plus you. You're a plural. I'm a singularity. I can hold me, or I can drop me on the ground like a hot potato and pick you up, and then I got you and I don't got me anymore, and I'm on the ground looking at my potato on the ground saying, hey, that's me on the ground. I just picked her up and I don't like it one bit. She'll say, oh, how cute. Okay, thank you, Aries. You're going to be me all day now, and I'll be so happy telling you what to do, bossing you around, thinking you're great. Yeah, and I'll feel like, what the hell am I doing with you? Why am I just being you, and I can't even be me? Ultimately, Aries, you'll get all mad. You'll be so pissed because you'll say, like, I need to be me. I need to have my spirit in my head, not hers. And if I have hers, I can't have mine. I hold one at a time. My name is Aries. Okay, you understand, Aries? Don't get mad about it now, because ultimately, Aries, you will get mad. You'll go crazy. You'll kill yourself. You'll kill someone else over this, over what we're talking about. It's absurd, Aries, to think that the lack of understanding astrology has, that Aries never even learned any of this. Aries, the sun is in reverse. You've got to get it upright. Aries, you've got to look at the bright side no matter what you do. You've got to look at the bright side. Do not take failure as anything possible. And ultimately, Aries, hold your position, man. Hold your position. Be strong. Aries, you got the Queen of Wands up right here in the past. That's a Pisces Aries energy. You've got a pretty good layout here. You're coming out of conflict. Your energy was in massive conflict recently in the past, with the Five of Swords in reverse. You're coming out of it. Ultimately, that's still, Aries, you've struggled a lot. You've been you've got your ass kicked so bad on so many levels, and you've also kicked ass on so many levels. But Aries, you're not here to focus on how much ass you kicked. You're here to focus on how much you got your ass kicked, because you really did, and you really have. And Aries, it ultimately is not your fault that the world won't even teach simple mathematics and realize that the one is the only one that's one, and the two can be two ones, but it can be two once, which means that every sign in the zodiac starting with two can be two, and you're the only one that can be one only and can't be two. Aries, you're one. You cannot be two. But Aries, aren't you like everyone else? Well, they'll tell you that. Aries, they'll tell you like, let's all work together, Aries. We're all equal here. Now, we're all plural, Aries, and you're plural too, right? Since we're all plural, am I plural? Is a one a plural? I think I'm a one, or am I a two? Oh, you're a two probably, Aries. Don't even worry about it. You might be a two singularity, or yeah, they wouldn't even know. Aries, what you want to know is you're a singularity that's a half, just the first half. Don't have a second half. You can only hold yourself one half. You can hold one thing. So you could drop yourself and pick someone else up, but you'll have them only, and you'll be mad about it, Aries. It'll be a spiritual understanding you never had. What's wrong with me? I'm just somebody else, and I hate myself now, and I hate them too, and they're mad at me, or they hate me. Ultimately, because I don't like doing it. And ultimately, Aries, it's not that bad if you know what's going on. It's not so bad, but it's when you don't know what's really going on, you feel so ripped off. Like, ripped off. My soul got ripped off of my body and left me. I'm so despondent and dispossessed and mad. And then I have to pick someone else up and take their soul so I can behave and they like me. And then I'm pleasing them and they say, oh, good for you, you're my friend. And I'm like, no, I'm a dispossessed fool that just took your spirit. And I'm upset about it. I'm really upset because I don't understand any of this. If I understood any of this, I could be okay with it. It takes a spiritual understanding, Aries, to be okay with life. It takes a spiritual understanding to even be able to survive the difficulties which you've had. Without the spiritual understanding, Aries, it may be that you won't be able to survive. That's why it's so important. I want to be doing these videos and helping you. You need the spiritual understanding, absolutely, to save your life. You will live. You will survive, Aries. But you need to hold your own and grab your soul and pull it back in your body. And if you want to take someone else's, that's great. But you won't have yours while you're doing it. Just remember that. All right, Aries, see you next month.